Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we've got our week 4 battle of the BBR. We're going up against JBWestside and his Las Vegas Cinderaces, somebody who we faced many times over the years, and unfortunately we're on like the losing side of that. I don't actually remember beating him at all. So yeah, in fact the first time, I think it's the first time we faced off, maybe the second, in UPBA, he froze my Hooper and Mound when it was about to sweep, and he ended up timer stalling me for like 15 minutes to win that battle. So we're looking for some revenge for that game. That was painful, but yeah, all I want is one game in which I beat JB to get revenge and maybe somehow get a freeze just to I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about that game that was like a year and a half ago. No, not at all. I'm not really. Like, it is what it is, but. Yeah, make sure to go check out his channel. He's a really funny guy and makes great content. So yeah, his channel will be down in the description below, as well as all the other coaches for the BBR this season. And before we get into the team builder, we actually have a couple of trades. We dropped Rotom Frost for Rotom Fan because our fighting weakness was just absurd. We dropped Lipard for Marwell because that is just an upgrade in pretty much every sense, I feel. Not to mention, like I said, we were super weak to fighting. We had like 6 fighting weaknesses. We brought that down to 4 now. It's much more manageable with things like Fini and Articuno and Decidueye to deal with fighting types when you don't have so many weaknesses. So yeah, I feel Rotom Fan is actually a bit of an upgrade from Rotom Frost, albeit we do lose that Ice type, which we haven't gained back. And yeah, Rotom Fan is just a really solid mon. I've seen it do a lot of work for a lot of people. In fact, last season in BBR, we got rocked by it because we didn't have a ground type. So we fixed that problem by having Zygarde this season. But yeah, Rotom Fan I'm really looking forward to using, and Marwell seems like a really interesting mon that could show up for a few weeks. But now let's get into the team builder portion, and first up his team is Dragonite, Azelf, Nidoqueen, Zarude, Gardevoir, Frostlass, Aggron, Lapras, Double, Wartortle, and Pikachu. Last time we faced a Pikachu, it took out my Tyranitar and I was sad for weeks. So I'm not doing that again. I'm not letting Pikachu run riot through my team. And I expect, now I've said that, somehow it still will. I don't expect it to turn up, but I just feel like it's going to turn up and somehow 6-0 me. But let's get into the rest of his team. Dragonite is a big problem. It is for every team, I feel like. We now have lost our Ice type, which would be a semi-reasonable check to it. It probably just run Fire Punch and blow through us anyway, or Scale Shot and just delete us. But we do not have our Ice type anymore, but we do have a couple of good checks to it. But pretty much the coverage of Ice Punch, Earthquake, and Thunder Punch will be enough after a Dragon Dance to really put pressure on our team. If our defensive checks get worn down at all, then we're in for a world of hurt. That thing is going to be a problem. It could end up being that at the end of this game, it's whoever's Dragon type is set up first will win the game. Spoilers for my Zygarde set, by the way. Yeah, so Dragonite is scary. Choice Band is also an option. I feel like it's entirely possible, but it does require him to make predictions. And against my team, where I have like 2 ground immunities, I have electric resists, I have ice resists that are pretty good. I don't think he wants to really run Choice Banded so much. I don't think he even runs Dragon Stab on it because he doesn't need to. So yeah, Dragonite is going to be a big threat. Azelf is less of a problem. I think if it turns up, it might be physical without having Stab as well. Again, Ice Punch, I think Drain Punch is pretty solid, and then maybe Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, something along the... Just all the elemental punches. Just give them all. Just every punch that it can. In fact, no, that's all punches. That's literally his set could all be punches. And it would be able to just wreak havoc on our team. But at the same time, I feel like he has a better Psychic type against our team, and I don't think he wants to necessarily bring 2 Psychic types against me. Like, Psychic types aren't good against my team, generally. Unless they have like crazy coverage, which Azelf does, but even then its coverage is... It's not enough, we'll say. Nidoqueen just blows my team back. Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam is all he needs to pretty much hit everything on my team, barring Pinsir, Gree-Don't, and I think Pangoro for super effective damage. And Pinsir doesn't have a special defense stat. Pangoro is alright, but it's not ideal. And then Green is very slow, and he has his switches into it, but it's going to be a problem for our team, basically. If it's offensive Life Orb, then we really struggle to switch into it. However, I think we do have the positive of that. I think it might be Shucker. If it's going to be able to like bait in things like the Zygarde, maybe the Heatran, I think he wants to run Shucker to be able to like guarantee get that hit off and just Oko something. So I think Shucker is probably his play this week, and that means that we might actually be able to deal with Nidoqueen a bit better. If it's just Life Orb, modest, max special attack, it's going to be a tough time, but the upside is that it's slower than most of our team as well, so yeah, Nidoqueen is looking terrifying. Speaking of terrifying, Zarude, if it's Power Whip, Darkest Lariat, Stomping Tantrum, Bulk Up, again, big problem for my team. Literally just before I was genning, like maybe a few hours before, I was like, okay, so what do I have for a Bulk Up Zarude? And the answer was I get 6-0'd. So I decided to change one of my sets to be able to revenge kill Zarude. Because Bulk Up is just, it can bulk up on so many things on my team. Like, you would think that he wouldn't be able to bulk up on things like Marwell because Play Rough does so much damage. Nah, it can bulk up pretty freely. I mean, the only upside is like it's probably going to be leftovers bulk up 3 attacks, which means that it is going to get chipped away very slowly, but it's going to get chipped away. If he decides to run Jungle Healing, he's either not running bulk up or he's running one less coverage move, which means something on my team will be able to check it. Like if he doesn't run a Dark type move, then Decidueye and Articuno can check it. If he's not running a Grass type move, then Finny can check it. Zygarde to an extent can check it. So I feel like he needs to run 3 moves because Stomping Tantrum hits Heatran and Marwell, my 2 best checks to it. So yeah, Zarude's a big problem. Gardevoir also is very scary. It is slower than quite a few of my team, so I think he might be Choice Scarf. But like Moonblast, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast, with maybe Healing Wish as the last move, maybe runs Calm Mind, that set's going to cause me problems. Like either of those are going to be really tough for me to be able to continually switch into. The upside of Choice Scarf is he would have to try and make predictions, and I do have things that can switch into the different types. However, it's certainly not optimal for me. Gardevoir is a big problem. If it's Calm Mind, then yeah, it's going to suck, because a lot of my best ways of dealing with it are going to be special attackers. Next up, Frostlass. This is another thing I could see turning up. I'm not entirely sure if it's very good here. Like I have things like Heatran that can switch into it, Tapu Fini can switch into it, Pangoro if it was like AV, or Lumberry can switch in. Gree-Don't is alright, and Marwell if it's AV is also pretty good at switching in. So I'm not sure. If he does bring it, I kind of expect like Dual Stabs, maybe Will-O-Wisp spikes, or Destiny Bond spikes, something along those lines. Probably going to be a lead, but it does do like some decent work. It could also be Choice Scarf to be able to revenge kill Zygarde at +1. That is also very much an option for him. But I think he has his ways of kind of dealing with Zygarde without bringing that set. So yeah, Frostlass I think it's just going to be a matter of kind of scouting its set, but at the same time, like Finny should be able to deal with that relatively okay. Aggron I don't think is good in this matchup. I have Zygarde, I have Finny. Lycanroc learns Close Combat. Pangoro just beats it. Gree-Don't can learn Superpower. Pinsir can learn Close Combat. Marwell can learn Superpower, I'm pretty sure, as well. So I don't think Aggron has the best matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it just as like a especially defensive check to things like Articuno and Decidueye. But I don't think he brings it this week. I don't think it has the greatest matchup. Lapras I can definitely see him bringing. He has brought it every week so far this season, and it has a decentish matchup. Like Zygarde, obviously, like it will stop Zygarde sweeping because it has the ability to either Ice Shard me or just Freeze Dry to hit Tapu Fini, to hit Articuno, to hit Decidueye. Water moves hit Lycanroc. Ice move hits Rotom. Like you see what I mean? Like it's got decent. Like Water Ice is decent against my team, and I could definitely see him bringing it either as a special check for Tapu Fini, Heatran, or as a physical check to Zygarde, and honestly, that would be about it. So more than likely going to be special. Double, this could turn up. I mean, Pangoro has a decent matchup, so I don't think that he'll necessarily want to bring double. It also loses to Heatran. Once Zygarde gets set up, it doesn't really beat that either. Tapu Fini does a ton of damage to it. Articuno can do a lot of damage to it. Lycanroc has close combat. I don't think that double has the greatest matchup, but at the same time, he could absolutely bring it because after a Cotton Guard, Body Press is actually doing a lot of work against my team. War Turtle, surprisingly, I think that has a very good matchup. In terms of actually hitting my team, not the best, but I could definitely see like a Ice Beam, Aura Sphere, Rapid Spin Toxic set, or maybe with Rest, and just being like an annoying special defense pivot. You could also run Flip Turn actually, and just kind of pivot around my team. It definitely brings in things like Tapu Fini, which he appreciates because Zarude can set up on that. I say set up, it has to be kind of careful with Prodigy's Power Whips. But yeah, War Turtle could be very annoying, and then Pikachu is the biggest threat. I mean, it's the best Pokemon in the game, that's why it's, you know, the mascot and all that. So yeah, with that out of the way, I'm going to take a drink and then we're going to get into the team. First up, we have got our Zygarde with the Archie-Berry. Adamant Nature with a decent amount of bulk from memory. Scale Shot, Thousand Arrows, Skitter Smack, and Dragon Dance. So a combination of Thousand Arrows and Skitter Smack actually hits his entire team for like good enough damage that it will actually 2-hit KO pretty much everything after a Dragon Dance. He may think that Zarude is a check for getting Skitter Smack, because it's not really something you see every day. Entirely possible that he is aware of it, but if he isn't, like if he brings in Zarude, I'm going to assume that he's not aware Skitter Smack is a thing, and Thousand Arrows into Skitter Smack, even at neutral, is able to knock out Zarude. We do have to be careful because Power Whip really hurts us, but we also have a couple of decent switch-ins to Power Whip, so Skitter Smack is really just there to catch him off guard. This honestly could work as a really good late game sweeper, or as a mid game kind of wall breaker. Scale Shot gives me +2 speed, so if he is running like a Scarf Frostlass or Scarf Azelf, if I can, I would Dragon Dance and then Scale Shot if I have the opportunity to, and that will make me quicker than Frostlass. And honestly, after that, Scale Shot will just 2-hit KO. It just becomes much less of a problem. We're actually able to 2-hit KO Dragonite with Scale Shot if he isn't in a focus, but it depends entirely on his set. I don't know, I can't remember if that's a +1 or regular. I will do that calc before the battle though, and I will make sure I know it. I'm pretty sure it's without a Dragon Dance that we can 2-shot Dragonite without multiscale. Scale Shot does break his multiscale if he has it, and I think we'll then need like 3 hits to be able to confirm the kill. Outside of that, we have the Archie-Berry for things like Ice Punch Azelf, for Ice Beam Nidoqueen, Frostlass as well. Lapras and War Turtle may have Ice Beam as like just a coverage move. So we have plenty of Ice-type moves that we got the Archie-Berry for. Does mean that either once we get set up, we can kind of just go on a tear and not worry about anything being able to stop us. Or we can just use it to set up. Next up, we have got our Gree-Don't, and honestly, my front office has been saying I've used this too much. I mean, you can never use Gree-Don't too much. It's such a good one. And by that, I mean, it doesn't get any kills, but it can be fat and annoying for a couple of turns and maybe do some damage. This week we're running a Soul Vest, so both of his abilities are completely pointless. We've got Cheek Pouch, which honestly, unless he tricks us a berry, is going to do absolutely nothing for us. Running a Brave Nature so we can power up our Gyro Ball. We've also got Body Slam, Ice Fang, and Superpower. Again, if he doesn't bring Frostlass, Body Slam is free paralysis for us. I mean, it's 30%, but it's potential free paralysis for us. Plus it's free damage on everything, because I don't see Aggron turning up. We do have the Superpower if it does. Ice Fang, like I said, after Dragonite, takes rocks potentially, or some kind of chip, takes out a multiscale. Ice Fang will be able to do like 75 to 88 or something along those lines. I think I've EV'd it to be able to always kill after rocks. Gyro Ball will take care of the Gardevoir and the Frostlass, and Superpower does a ton of damage to Lapras, does a ton of damage to Double, as long as it isn't body press isn't caught guarded up. Body Slam will 4-hit KO Wartortle if it's specially defensive, which I would kind of expect it to be, because I think it's more of a switch into Tapu Fini and Heatran than anything else. And yeah, outside of that, Body Slam is just like free power wherever we can, hopefully. The Assault Vest is so we can hopefully switch it into things like Gardevoir, to things like Nidoqueen, to Frostlass, to Lapras. There's a lot of things that scare me though, like Focus Blast on Gardevoir, potential Willow from Frostlass. Honestly, that's not the end of the world because we're kind of going to be spamming Body Slam anyway and hoping for Paras. But there's some things that definitely could cause me some issues, but the Assault Vest means that we can kind of stick around and be annoying for as many turns as we possibly can. Like it's just a general irritant to his team. I wouldn't say it's anything more than that, but it's potentially going to just get some Paras, do a bit of damage, and hopefully be able to switch in on something, even if it's Nidoqueen twice. If it is Shucker Berry with like quite a bit of defense to try and take on my Zygarde better, then we actually can take the hits from Nidoqueen quite well. I think we get like 3-hit KO'd or 4-hit KO'd by just general max special attack without the Life Orb. But other than that, it's just really a general switch into his special threats. Enough physical defense to be able to take hits from like Zarude and Dragonite and physical Azelf. Like, we're able to take a hit pretty much from anything on his team. So we're almost guaranteed to get a Body Slam or a Gyro Ball or a Superpower off and be able to do some damage. Next up, we've got our Articuno with Heavy Duty Boots. Again, this is very specially defensive with a Calm Nature, Psychic, Air Slash, U-Turn, and Recover. We are running Hypnosis this week because I feel like Aggron has a much worse matchup than Steelix did last week. I feel like Steelix had a pretty good matchup because of the ground typing. Aggron, I think the rock typing is much worse against me. It could still turn up, but if it does, then I'm just going to U-turn with this pretty much every turn that it comes in. But this is a pivot to, again, Nidoqueen, to Gardevoir. If it's Choice Scarf, it can't 2-hit Chaos with Shadow Ball unless it gets a Spadef drop, which, fingers crossed, it doesn't. Now I've said it, it will happen, but it can switch into Lapras surprisingly well, as long as it's not like a very offensive Lapras. Outside of that, it can deal with things like the Nidoqueen, I've already mentioned that, the Double and the Wartortle as well. It's not the ideal switch into Double, but at the same time, Double's special defense is much worse than its physical defense, especially after a Cotton Guard. So Psychic, we might be able to get Spadef drops. It's really just here as a second special defense switch in, because honestly, his special attack is really, really scary. Next up, we've got Tapu Fini with the choice specs. We're actually a really bulky set as well, but we are running Modest Nature, but very limited special attack investment. Surf, Moonblast, Ice Beam, and Grass Knot. Surf hits Nidoqueen, it hits Aggron. That's about it. It can hit Azelf for neutral damage, it hits Gardevoir for neutral damage. Moonblast hits the Dragonite, it hits the Zarude, and it hit the Lapras and the Wartortle. Ice Beam is really nice if we get into a situation where we're left with like Dragonite, Azelf, Nidoqueen, Zarude. We can pretty much just spam Ice Beam for free. Because like he's not got many good switch-ins, and especially with the specs, we're able to pretty much OHKO everything. And then Grass Knot is really just there for the Lapras, because Lapras is his best switch-in. If I see the Lapras, I'll probably go for Grass Knot. It does 2-hit KO and max for Death variant, unless he's Leftovers, but if he's Leftovers, not Boots. And maybe we got Stealth Rocks up at that point, and we're able to 2-hit KO regardless. Moonblast also does a ton of work. Like it will still do like a solid 30% to Nidoqueen, and if it is Shucker, it's not getting that health back. So that's a win. Next up, we've got the set that I actually changed. I was originally just like a defensive set with Heatran, and I decided, you know, I don't want to lose to Zarude, just straight lose. So I'm going to go for a Choice Scarf variant with the Modest Nature, and this time I've actually remembered to do Flame Body. I genuinely thought I was Flame Body last week to catch a Rillaboom potentially with the burn. I was Flash Fire. I think I noticed after genning, but couldn't be able to change it. So yeah, we have got a Flame Body this week, which could come in really handy against like the Azelf if it's physical, the Zarude if I was able to catch it on a Power Whip turn, the Dragonite if it clicks any move that's not Earthquake, then we can get that Flame Body. But Eruption, Lava Bloom, Flash Cannon, and Earth Power. It's pretty solid coverage against his team. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for what it does. Eruption, if we're able to be at max health, honestly just destroys this man's team. Spadef Lapras still takes like 60%. Dragonite is actually his best switch in, but if it's offensive, it will take like 35 to 45% from max HP Eruption. If we are lower in HP, then maybe I click Lava Plume and try and go for a burn. Flash Cannon will do about 40% as well to Dragonite, as well as hitting things like the... honestly, it will just hit the Dragonite, which the fire coverage doesn't necessarily hit. And then Earth Power is my best move against like Nidoqueen. I guess it has Aggron and the Pikachu if it turns up. Pikachu's scary, so I definitely want to have something to... It will die to anything. I could, honestly, any of these moves, except for maybe Flash Cannon, and it will die. So, yeah, it's, I guess, a backup check for Pikachu as well. And, yeah, last up we have got our Mawile making its debut the week after we traded for it with the leftovers and the impish nature of Intimidate. Ironhead, Play Rough, Stealth Rock, and Toxic. Ironhead hits his entire team neutrally barring the Aggron, which is kind of nice. It also is, I mean, Pikachu resists it, but again, it probably takes like 50% from Ironhead, honestly. Doesn't appreciate Play Rough either. Play Rough hits the Dragonite, hits the Zarude, and honestly, that's as much as I could want from it, because like that's two things that are really, really detrimental against my team, and if I was able to get a Play Rough on them, then we're in a much, much better spot. I think something we do have to watch out for, though, is Dragonite. If it's DD in a focus, potentially could be weakness policy, and if it gets to +1 and then +3 attack, I have no switch-ins. So that's going to be a bit worrying, so I'll probably just click Toxic on the Dragonite if I get the chance. Just so if we do pop a weakness policy at any point, at least it will die in like 3 turns, 4 turns, and we don't have to worry too much about it. Stealth Rock is just really nice for me to be able to kind of like switch in on Zarude, click Stealth Rock, and then we kind of pressure him, especially if he doesn't bring War Turtle. Then Stealth Rock is just amazing in this matchup. Things like Frostlass don't appreciate it, Lapras, Dragonite. Honestly, Azelf doesn't want to take that chip. Gardevoir doesn't really want to take that chip. But he does kind of get a free switch into Nidoqueen, because Ironhead is honestly doing nothing, especially if it's physically defensive. It's doing literally like 20% at most. So this doesn't kind of invite in Nidoqueen, but at the same time, we do have our ways of sort of dealing with that with Gree-Don't and Articuno. But this also checks the Frostlass. It checks very loosely checks Aggron if it's not running Earthquake. It should be running Earthquake, but it can also check that. It will check a physical Azelf that's not running Fire Punch, which honestly I don't think it'll be running Fire Punch. That seems like a weird bring, but you never know. And it'll check like a Pikachu as well. So Mawile is not too bad as a physically defensive check. That's the team. Hopefully we are able to go ahead and avenge ourselves for the many losses we picked up against JB. But honestly, this is a scary matchup. His team doesn't look amazing on paper, but it's definitely got a few things that really kind of bully our team. So yeah, a little bit worried about certain things and whether I've got enough ways to check Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen and Dragonite, because honestly, like it could just come down to, like I said, whoever's Dragon type sets up first. But anyway, that's enough of this. Let's get into the battle. Alright, so here we are with the battle against JB. Just checking the recording, we're all good. I'm going to press A and we're going to see how many threats he's brought. Got my calc. I forgot to import my sets. He did bring the Aggron, that's slightly surprising. Other than that, roughly what we expected. No Gardevoir actually makes life a little easier, so does no... what was I looking for? No Frostlass. I mean, that's going to be potentially weakness policy. I mean, Rock Polish, 3 attacks aggro maybe. So we need to kind of just be prepared for that. I do like my Feeny as a lead. Realistically, it only has one really bad matchup. How much am I doing to an Azelf? Just out of curiosity, I think do a good chunk, I would have thought. Moonblast has a chance to KO if it's got no bulk. Yeah, we're just going to lead off with Finny. And good luck, have fun to my opponent. I hopefully don't get frozen in this game. I just realised I wasn't talking, I don't think, at all for a solid 20 seconds there. I kind of zoned out a bit. It's a little bit late. These are for the Azelf. Be intrigued to see what this set is. Potentially focus slash lead with like Stealth Rock. It's entirely possible. I think I just want to go for a Moonblast though. Moonblast is relatively safe. I'm just going to check. Azelf Suicide Lead. Explosion hurts, but it won't knock me out. I do want to keep this relatively healthy, though. Do I want to switch? No, I'm just going to Moonblast. Depending on what his set is. Oh, he has Taunt. Okay, that's like perfect for us. Maybe expecting us to go for like a Calm Mind or something. And that's going to do a lot of damage. He's almost definitely going to see that that is Specs. I expect a Nidoqueen to come in, but I'm just going to click it again. Any damage on Nidoqueen is amazing. If he's got Explosion, that's a little rough. But that shouldn't knock us out. Yeah, that does a lot of damage, but maybe should have switched. I think having health on this was probably more beneficial than anything else. Yeah, potentially, but we're still able to do some work without that health. He's going to send in Zarude. Kinda to be expected. I'm going to just go hard into my Marwile. And honestly, I think I just want to Stealth Rock if he just attacks. If he bulks up, then it's a bit of a brave play, but at the same time, it's entirely possible because he probably doesn't expect me to stay in. Getting the Intimidate. And we don't see like an Adrenaline Orb or anything like that. Just goes for a sub. Okay, that's interesting. See like sub 3 attacks. Could be sub bulk up. Sub bulk up would suck. But we can at least like scout its set here. We've got to go for a play rough to try and break the sub. Now, if I'd gone for a Moonblast, that would have been kind of nice, but he is leftovers, so this kind of makes me think maybe he is bulk up. But considering he's sub, he's maybe lacking a move that will be able to actually do damage to my team. It's just finding out which one it is. Like, he may not have expected the Marwile to come and doesn't have Stomping Tantrum. Just going to Power Whip. This shouldn't do much at all. Yeah, that really doesn't do a lot. So I'm going to play rough to break the sub, and then I'm going to Stealth Rock on the next turn. Expecting him to switch out. So he subs again, like we really don't take much damage at all from this. I could also Toxic. But if he goes into Nidoqueen, then that's just less than ideal. So I think Stealth Rocking is absolutely my play. If he's not Boots on Dragonite, it breaks his multiscale. And I don't expect him to stay in here. No. Probably the Nidoqueen that comes in. Yep. Just going to set up our Stealth Rocks. And honestly, I think we just go hard into maybe Articuno. Because he's probably going to set up rocks himself, would be my guess. I'm going to go Articuno and then probably U-turn, expecting him to switch out, because I don't think he wants to take a Psychic. And if he stays in, then I can go into Gree-Don't and go from there. But 100% expecting the Rocks here. Unsurprisingly staying in. I don't think he has any reason ever to switch out when he's in a position like that. He goes for the Ice Beam, that's a nice read. We're going to be able to see what kind of set he is. That's not very offensive at all. So I just want to U-turn. I can pretty freely go into my Gree-Don't if he stays in. We also get to see whether or not he's faster than me. I think it's unlikely, just because of how little that did. He's clearly not that offensive. I think he is defensive, probably with Shucker. Let's go as Lapras. And that is not heavy duty boots, so I'm going to assume that is that's leftovers. And I think I just want to go into my Gree-Don't. It could be Assault Vest. If we don't see leftovers here, then I'm going to assume it's Assault Vest. Okay, it's leftovers. But we have no reason not to just click Body Slam. No reason at all. We are Assault Vest. Like, he can Toxic this maybe. It's probably like the worst he can do to me. Other than that, what's he going into? Like, realistically, we just need a little bit more chip on this and some chip on Dragonite, and we're actually in a really good place to do some solid work with our Scarf Heatran. He could be very Spadef, I guess, on his Nidoqueen. That's also possible. He's just going to Surf. This shouldn't do much. Yeah, that's not doing all that much. Doing about, I guess, a crit, 25% with a crit. We get a free Body Slam, which we do get a power as well, which is really, really nice. When he comes in, he will die to our Heatran on another switch into Rocks, which is kinda ideal. We aren't actually quicker than this, even though it's paralyzed, it will still outspeed us. If he wants to switch out, he's risking getting anything else paralyzed. He actually does switch. Goes into Aggron. I could have Gyro Balled, but I think Rocks into Body Slam damage should be enough to put it in superpower range. This definitely could be superpower range. There's not really any other switch I want to make at this point, so I'm just going to click superpower. And he'll be able to do some solid damage. If he's like banded Head Smash, he will absolutely do a lot of damage. He's Autotomize. It's interesting. Hopefully we take out with this superpower, that would be incredible. Considering he's fast, it should do. Yeah, we do. Awesome. Queen finally picked up a kill. It's been like, it's been so long. But yeah, finally picking up a kill. And I guess you can go into Dragonite here. You could also go into Zarude, but he's seen superpower. I don't know if he wants to. I think either way, I'd probably go into Mawile. Now, you could also go into Nidoqueen. That's entirely a possibility. He does go Dragonite. Do you see Boots? He is Boots. Okay. In that case, I think I really want to just get up an Ice Fang. What do I have to stop basically getting swept by this? I think I need to go hard Finny to really prevent him from setting up twice. I think that's what I gotta do. Maybe attacking it is the play. That could also, like, could have Ice Fanged there. He just got damage off. Because we could just lose to Dragon Dance, but at least this does force him to only get 1 up. Yeah, he is going to Dragon Dance. I probably should have just gone for the Ice Fang. Should have just gone for damage. I think that was a misplay. And I may end up losing to Dragonite because of it. I'm just going to Moonblast. He could Dragon Dance again here, it's entirely possible. It is entirely possible from Dragon Dance again. But we do get to see some of his moves set. If he hasn't got a Dragon move, then we're in a really good spot. If he's got Ice Punch over... Okay, so he's got Earthquake. He seems like he doesn't have Thunder Punch in that case. I do want to go back into my... Do I want to go Green? I'll go Mawile and then I'll go Green. I think that's my better play, just to get the Intimidate off. If he's not in a focus. If he is in a focus, then this play rough should hurt. He isn't in a focus. Okay, awesome. So he's back in neutral. Like, we're still... This is still going to hurt. Like, Earthquake will still do some pretty good damage, but... Like, he could absolutely Dragon Dance up again. But at least we were breaking his multi-scale. Because we know that he's not in a focus. So this shouldn't kill us. And we get some good play rough damage off. That should now be in Ice Fang range. I'm kind of happy just to lose my Mawile. Am I happy to lose Mawile? I don't think I can realistically... I might be able to lose to Zarude. I could have also gone Articuno here, but I don't think that play is ever worth it. I think sacking is always my best play. And now I just go back into Gree-Don't, because Gree-Don't should be able to take 1 from Dragonite. It's that. It's not in multi-scale, it's at like 75%, so yeah, Ice Fang should be able to kill it. If he has Outrage, Adamant, that shouldn't be able to knock me out. Shouldn't be able to knock me out, and Ice Fang should be able to kill in return. Green's looking kind of good in this game. So unfortunately I'm going to have to take so much damage. But it's absolutely necessary to make sure this Dragonite doesn't just beat us here. He goes for the Dragon Dance. I should be able to knock him out of Ice Fang. I should be able to knock him out. If it doesn't, then I think it could be game. We do knock him out. Awesome, awesome. Green gets 2 kills. Green really putting in the work here. And he's got what? Zarude? Zarude, Nidoqueen, and Lapras left. So we're not in a bad position. We just need to make sure that Zarude never gets behind a sub. He goes into Nidoqueen. This is kind of fine with me. It looks to be very defensive Nidoqueen, so we'll have a look at... Yeah, we should be able to win this 1v1. I'm just going to Body Slam and try and get Para. So he's just going to Ice Beam. I'm not switching, that shouldn't do much at all. If he gets a freeze, that'd be super annoying, but I don't know, Sheer Force. What am I talking about with Sheer Force? We're getting some good damage. We don't get a Paralo. Just going to keep Body Slamming. I really have no reason not to keep Body Slamming. Let's go to Earth Power. Just to do a good amount of damage. We should be able to take 1 more as long as it doesn't get for Death Drop. We will. And that's a crit. No, that's just insane damage. I mean, I could preserve this at this point, but like really, Heatran should just be able to clean up the game. If anything, actually, I want to lose my Gree-Don't. He gets fully powered. I'm sorry, that sucks, but like he wouldn't have been able to take me out. He has now put me in range of Zarude, but we've seen that Zarude is leftovers. Does Zarude? Zarude takes superpower after rocks. I mean, Body Slam will break a sub, unless he's even if he's like max HP. Body Slam will break a sub. So I think we're in a pretty good place. I just don't switch out. If he is bulk up, then it'd be really unfortunate. But he cannot sub up on me. I think his play is to try and sub up on me, play off my choke. He's just going to power whip. And he misses. I'm so sorry, JB. Like, this is rough. I never want to win a game just through hacks. I know I'm using Body Slam and getting all the paralysis. But yeah, I never want to win a game just because of hacks. I could just go into Zygarde. I think that's unnecessary. Like, I'm not gonna do that to him. I'm just gonna superpower. If he gets fully powered, I feel real bad because I should be dead. He power whips and he hits this one. Okay. He does hit that one, but Heatran should just be able to clean up the game from here. Yeah, that's super unfortunate that power whip missed, but I don't think it... Well, I mean, I don't think it mattered in the end because Heatran just comes in and literally just claims a kill. But I think he just got a little greedy around Gree-Don't, not expecting Gree-Don't to put in so much work. Gree-Don't got 3 kills in this game. And yeah, we're just going to click Eruption twice, and it should take out the Lapras. There's no reason why it shouldn't. I mean, this thing is completely gone. And I believe this just kills Lapras. Weirdly enough, I don't have a switch into Lapras at this point. But this fully Spadef has a chance to live. However, Surf will not kill me. So... anyway, he doesn't have a chance to live because of rocks. But yeah. Good game to JB. We're going to win this one 3-0. We can't miss Eruption, so... yeah, this is going to be a 3-0. I definitely... Gree-Don't put in the absolute finest of work. I think that set was really solid. It was able to check Nidoqueen surprisingly well. And yeah, that puts us to what? 2-2... -1? We definitely needed that win. We absolutely needed that win. But yeah, good game to JB. That was, well, I would say a lot of fun. I definitely got some luck in that one. But granted, I don't think it really mattered. Once Dragonite went down, Heatran just clicked Eruption. And as long as like Nidoqueen was at about 50%, there was absolutely no chance of him being able to live. So yeah, I think we had that game regardless. Possibly could have saved some differential at the end, but I honestly don't think it was worth it. But yeah, we're going to move to 2-2. -1, we face Sir Jorge, who we faced in UPA week 1. We face him next week, but it's in like 2 days for me because I'm behind because of work. But if you did enjoy the battle, then please do leave a like and subscribe for more Draft League content. And until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.